Hi, this is Natalie Rydstrom and you're watching SBR Picks. Now, Liverpool host Manchester City in what is expected to be a compelling showdown between two rivals this weekend. Sports writer and SBR contributor Lee Phelps joins us now to take us through the match. Now, the reverse match saw a healthy 3-1 to home team Manchester City. They are the favourites, but do you think it'll be a bit closer this time around?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, Liverpool traditionally kind of just can't quite get over the best teams. You know, they're right up there, but I don't think usually they just struggle a little bit. Well, it's a little different this week, isn't it? You know, you've got this Manchester City team who were humbled again, really, by Barcelona in the first half of their Champions League match. Did better in the second half, but I was a little bit disappointed by them in the first half. I thought they were quite naive. I think it will be a tight match, though. I really do. You know, if Liverpool can carry on this form they've had, which has seen them have, just one defeat in 24 matches. That's not counting the defeat in the League Cup to Chelsea, which was a penalty defeat. But I think that they've got the style to beat Man City. They've got the pace. They've got the kind of the system that they employ. They're very quick. They're very quick to close down as well. So I can see Liverpool winning, but I'm going to leave the outrights alone. I'm going to be a little bit of a wimp here and leave the outrights alone. If forced, I probably would go for Liverpool, but it's not a bet that I'm that confident on.
Yeah, well, Liverpool do come from consecutive wins here, obviously including that impressive 2-0 win playing Southampton at home. So I have to say I would actually either go for Liverpool or even the draw on this one. But you say that the best play on this would just be to leave the outrights alone.
There are a few imponderables for me, Natalie. You know, Liverpool have been to Turkey and lost 5-4 on penalties in the Europa League, having drawn the match 1-1 on aggregate all the way through extra time. It's not an easy trip, that, on a Thursday night, is it? I know they're playing Sunday, but it's noon on a Sunday. Man City have had an extra couple of days to recover, so they'll probably be fresher. I know this is at Anfield, but there's not much of a difference between Manchester and Liverpool. So I think on that side of it, I'm not sure where Liverpool will be. It's disappointment of going out of the Europa League will be weighing on their minds a little bit. Plus the fatigue. Now they did leave a few players at home. They did weaken down for that Besiktas game.
Yeah.
So maybe they will be fresher than I'm giving them credit for. But I'm just wary. I'm just not sure what we'll get on the day, if I'm being honest. I'm not sure what teams will take to the pitch. I'm not quite sure where either team's head is, if you like. There are a couple of things that I do know, though, and a couple of stats-based bets that I really like. One, which as we record this, we haven't got a price for, but they usually price this up quite late, maybe even look on Saturday. It's the bookings, the yellow card markets. Manchester City have got this kind of tactic of breaking up play in the midfield. We've talked about this before, actually, and I've written it in several articles, where, a bit like the South American teams in the World Cup, they'll commit a niggly little foul in the centre circle when a team's attacking. They'll get back in position and carry on. Now, those fouls accumulate, and eventually the referee caves in and will give a yellow card. And this has happened quite a lot, in the Premier League. They've had the most bookings points in 10 of their 13 away games in the Premier League. I mean, it's not just against top teams, it's against all the teams. So Manchester City to have the most bookings points in this game would be one of my bets. Like I say, unfortunately, as we record, we haven't got the price for it, but I expect it won't be an amazing price, don't get me wrong. We're probably looking at about 1.9, 2.0 if you're really lucky. But yeah, about 1.9. If it's anywhere around that, I'd play that. It's something that just keeps happening time and time again, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the last 5 matches played, both teams have scored and it's gone over 2.5 goals. Is that what you're expecting? Or based on sort of what you've just said, it is a little harder to predict, and maybe your top tip is not sort of, centred around those, basically the last 5 head-to-head stats?
No, I could still see it happening. I wouldn't be at all surprised. Early kick-off, maybe both teams a little bit jaded from their, not only from playing, but also from what happened to them during the week. I could see the first half being quite low scoring and the second half maybe coming to life. Once the game's got hold, once maybe a little bit more fatigue sets in and some gaps open up, you can see it being quite a tactical first half, but then quite an entertaining second half. I'd be looking at maybe 2 goals, maybe even 3 goals in the second half of this match. I'd still play the over 2.5 and the both teams to score. All
right, so Lee, run us through your top tip for this match.
Well, my top tip's a little bit of a confusing one, but again, it's based on stats, so I'll just run through it really quickly. When Man City have come back from Europe this season, they've scored 11 goals in total. Now, when you look at when those goals have been scored, the interesting thing is that 9 of the 11 have come after half-time One of the two that came in the first half was in the 40th minute. So it's like they start quite slowly and build up through a game. So 9 of the 11 have been in the second half. There's a bet, which is basically you can say when Manchester City will score their first goal. For that goal to be in the second half is priced up at 2.9. I think that's a nice bet, given those stats and given the way Liverpool play defensively as well. Cagey first half, hopefully an exciting second half, and Man City get their first goal after the break. Basically, all you need is Man City to have a nil next to their name at half-time and then for them to score in the second half at some point, and that'll land you at 2.9. I like that bet.
OK, so City's first goal to appear in the second half, 2.9 there, William Hill. Lee Phelps, thank you for joining us today.
Pleasure.